Whoopsie pop. Whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. Sorry about that, guys. YouTube decided to just, I don't know. It wanted to. It didn't like the flow. It didn't like the music. It's being a poo head. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at AMC. Let's look at AMC. What's happening? Why are you doing this? We're just gonna chill without music. Okay. We're just gonna talk, me and you, private, one on one. Okay. So we are currently stuck in this. I'm gonna close this real quick. Continue. Close. Put this guy right. Nope. Keep that guy there. Okay, so this is what's happening. Okay, we're obviously falling, and that's fine. It's, remember, the bearish outlook here is that if we do cross what is going to be this, let's go bring this down here real quick. 48. So if we do, for whatever reason, guys, if we do cross a into the 20s, okay, it's likely that we do. So it's not going to be the end of the world, in my opinion, just because I strongly believe that if this does cross this resistance point back here, or the support line, remember, on an inverse, this is what I was talking about. We have to look at the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you look at this from a like triple bottom and then quadruple bottom would be that break, right? And this is where I said, okay, whoa, what just happened? Okay, guys, I think this is it. This is where they do take us down on that spring. So we have to be careful, okay? This is the spring that I had mentioned on the bearish scenario that was always a possibility. So remember, you guys have to keep your convictions here on how you're looking at this. But this was broken. So right, that always changes basically the short, on the short term, it changes the scenario, right? Not on the long term for me. It's still going to be the same. It's just the short term is always going to be a quick for me. So if we do break this, guys, remember what I think is going to happen is well, first of all, by the end of the week, they have something like this happen. And if they do bring it down to those $18 levels, I do think we're going to get that spring back and then come up and then just get out of this, right? But I'm definitely gonna be looking at this from a not only a wedge scenario, but also a regression trend on the larger picture, because that's also very possible. If they do bring us down and we get that spring, we would be in this sort of like regression trend, or we would be on a more on the macro level, we would still be on this larger like descending wedge. So it's still a wedge, but it's descending instead of being right on the larger scale. It's still a wedge. It's just descending. So that's again, descending wedges are bullish because of the divergence that comes with it. So it's just a matter of keeping that, guys, keeping that a possibility, and it's fine. It's fine. Just note that if this is the case, then we would probably get that spring that I was talking about. Just going to be a short-term spring. So just get ready for that. It's not the end of the world. It's okay, and it's fine. It's just how manipulation happens, guys, okay? Not financial advice, but it's just how manipulation happens sometimes. So yeah, we have to keep an eye out for that. That would be the case here. It would be something like this. Right? And then at that point, we do whatever. But we have to keep an eye out. Regression trend would be a breakout of the regression. and then again do that sort of pattern that basically comes up all the way up here. Which, yeah, on a macro perspective, this actually looks very appealing in that sense that we do get that spring and then we come up, right, and break out to the upside. It's still, it doesn't matter how you look at it, whether it's a whether it's a wedge or a falling regression trend, it still is bullish to me no matter what, because the spring action turns into that LPS and then SOS that takes you up. Obviously, remember, it's according to the time frame that you're looking at it from. It's not as easy to predict, right, with cyclical movements, but on the overall macro of it, it's a good idea to understand how things could play out in the market. So it's just something to keep an eye out. But yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. Just we're at 2107 currently. All right. Is the purple line playing out? Yeah, we'll check that out, Mac and Bees. Wow, look at you, man. Look at you. Yeah, I would say something like that, right? Um, maybe right here we might have maybe stopped following it, maybe. Or inverse, maybe we're starting to follow it inverse. But wow, good catch, my guy. Good catch. I would say it would basically break this specific pattern right here, and maybe that's where it starts to extend it again. Whoops. 48, 48. Okay, there we go. Good catch. So yeah, I would say like maybe about here. So I wonder what we're tracking now. I've as sober dude, I have been through a lot with AMC, man. Ever since the whole thing went down, I was in on the play over here, and I went. I'm not gonna lie, I went in on 20 at 21. When it hit 21, I remember going in on it, and then I had to do this whole crap. So I remember that, and dude, I feel you, bro. I'm telling you, man. When I tell you that the feelings within AMC, like, don't think that I'm some like sane dude that just doesn't feel anything. Hell no. I felt a lot through AMC, and I've suffered a lot through AMC. um, and that's exactly why I'm trying to help everybody out, because I know the hardship within AMC and like what's been happening around it, and I'm trying to help everybody I can, you know. Yeah, YouTube, Derek Rose, YouTube, just, I don't know, said something about copyright, but the thing is, all the songs that I play, I don't really understand, so I'm disputing that, because I can play music, I can play music as long as I don't monetize my videos, and I'm not monetizing my videos, so I don't understand why I can't play the music. It just makes no sense. Makes no sense. Maybe there's a specific. There might have been like a specific song that doesn't even let you play like it doesn't let you stream or put it on your videos, even though you're not monetizing them. There's probably a setting or something that YouTube doesn't recognize in that sense. But yeah, it's super weird. All right, so we broke down. Oh lordy, what are they doing with Amy right now? Wow, wow. Okay. Somebody's getting angry. I mean, you guys have to think about this too, though. The SPY is not doing so well, and just a lot of stocks are not doing so well. But I mean, there's still a lot of stocks that are doing really well too, and that's the thing. Obviously, with this, you do get your a sort of run within certain stocks in the market too, and it is what it is. But guys, remember it trades back and forth. There's stocks that follow each other. There's like groups of stocks that follow each other. And right now, the current setup is that AMC, GameStop, all these stocks that are within the same vein are not doing so hot right now. But in the future, just watch. The tables turn. But obviously, this is not the best case right now for AMC, which is fine. It's we're gonna get that V pattern in the short term if it does cross the specific point right here. Which I would look at it like this. So this was obviously the previous resistance. We crossed that, and now it seems like we're creating this downward pressure, right? So what might happen is that tomorrow, typically this is how it goes, guys. Whenever you see like a bearish sentiment in the market towards the end, or just in general with AMC, towards the end of the day, you will still see, and this is not financial advice. Again, I'm going to keep saying this because like some people don't get that, but whenever you see this towards the end of the day, from what I've seen in the future is that you will continue that downtrend until the following day, and if you start to see that reversal, basically during the beginning of the day on Friday, we might go down, and if we complete this spring action right here to like, I don't know, the $18 or $19 level, and they bring us down here, we might come back up very quickly to do something like that, and this would be considered the spring. So I'm not saying that this is going to happen, please. I'm just telling you that if it was to happen tomorrow, or next week, even Monday, and they're able to just keep basically bringing the price down to whatever spring level they're trying to bring it down to, that in my opinion, that would be the last time that we would see those levels, and we would just bounce back. I just don't see it going down anymore, and I have said this from the start back here, guys. If you look at all my videos, I said that if we did break down, and it would be that spring, and it would be around that $18 level, and then just bounce back very quickly. And I said from there, I don't see it going down anymore. So those are the scenarios, guys. It was either going to play out this larger wedge, which we're still in. It's still a descending wedge, and bounce back from there, or create a regression trend, which basically means just following these two lines and bouncing off of those, which is still going to be a bullish thing because regression trends tend to break out at some point. So, you're bouncing off like that, doing something like that, and then once you break it and you establish support at those levels, you start to go up, right? So conviction does not change on the long term. Short term, sure, it could be bearish. Long term, not changing. Not changing the conviction. Of course, man. I really do wonder what these larger institutions are thinking about right now and how they're looking at it, because once you get too low, buddy, you are messing. You are getting very, very, very greedy at that point. If you're a large institution that's long and you think that you can bring it down more, you're going to be in trouble down here, because that retail that wants to buy the stock cheap, when that volume comes in, it almost becomes that no point of return, and that's where I see the major reversal coming. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that, guys. We'll see how this plays out, but we could be in a regression trend, so we have to keep an eye out for that. Okay. Let's make this line like that, something like that. Regression trend, wedge, whatever you want to call it. It really just depends on where we go down to. If we do that, we're still going to be in some sort of wedge. Even something like that would still be a wedge, because you could look at it from a macro perspective wedge, which would look something like that. And see how it closes up even more? This would be a macro wedge, which if you also look at my other videos, I have the same macro wedge play out, or that regression trend. So this would be another scenario. It'd be a macro wedge, descending wedge. Let's see here. Something like that, right? Same thing, right? I don't like this one as much, but it is a possibility as well. Wow, Amy really fell for Bitcoin here. Literally. Look at that. It wanted to just kind of get really close, get really, really intimate, and then she's like, nah, I'm going to bounce now. I don't know what she's doing. Yo. All right, let's see this yeah, they could be dropping it lower, man. I mean, like I said, we can assume all these things, and that's fine. Um, it's just really hard to understand what's going on behind the doors. It's really just it's almost impossible. It ain't fair. It ain't fair, but we work with what we got. Now we seem like we're bouncing back. Yeah, guys, a lot. I mean, just the whole market is hurting right now. I know there's some stocks that are up and that are, you know, looking real nice, but just in general, the overall market right now is very sticky, very sticky. I'm telling you, man. Like I strongly believe this in just the sense that if they were to, we are in a downtrend right now, and that's fine. If we do start to go below the 20s tomorrow or and following Monday, if we start to do that, we are basically here. Let me pull up the cycle here. So let's see how the cycle is doing with this, just to understand a little bit of what's going on, because we also have to use the cycle to understand these movements, right? Right, we had the unexpected volume and all that stuff. We'll bring this guy up here. 3 to 3. Okay. So right now we are right here, right here, right here, right here. So yeah, it is obviously in the downtrend part of it, which remember the price action is supposed to follow basically these. I mean, right now it's tracking identical. It started tracking inverse right here, and then now it's tracking identical in the sense that we're falling, but late in the game, right? Because remember, when the algorithm shifts and there's a noisy part within that section, so this right here would have been this, right? They took that as an opportunity to go up here, and now we come down and we don't play that pattern again. So that would be the yellow highlighted pattern in the 62-day cycle update. So now what's happening is we're tracking it the same. We're tracking it inverse, and this is what we have to understand. Okay, like we're coming to an end basically in the cycle. This ends on Friday, and then we start tracking a new one on Monday. So are we? Wait. Is the stock market open? Is there a holiday on Monday? Am I tripping? Yeah, there's a holiday on Monday. I this completely just skipped through my. I don't know why I didn't even think about this. We have a freaking holiday on Monday. Yeah, we're closed on Martin Luther King. What am I doing, guys? What am I doing? Okay, we are closed for Martin Luther King on Monday. So this is a Tuesday game. I'm sorry. Tuesday is what we're looking into. Tuesday, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens, right, with the rest of the cycle. But basically, this will finish off on Monday, or I'm sorry, on Friday tomorrow, and then Monday we would start tracking or looking at what is supposed to be this next cycle, right? And seeing if we're going to be morphing into a new cycle, which is a bullish sign in my opinion, because if we're not tracking the cycle anymore, well, that only means one thing, and that means that the algorithm is changing, and either to start doing something to the towards the upside or the downside, which is obviously not something that I think is going to happen. I'm just telling you, it's this just how the cycles work, and the cycle works in this case. So yeah, for those of you who don't know about this cycle and how it functions, how it works, basically it's a 62-day cycle that is just constantly repeated, pasted every 62 days. And what happens is the blue pattern is the most important pattern as it repeats itself in the price movements going up and down, either identical, inverse, or a mix of both. And what happens in this case is that these are basically put in place according to the option expiration dates. So it's a good way to track what the cycle is doing, right? With these movements to the upside, we have the inverse pattern playing out here, down, that. This is again just giving some people some the people that are new to the chat and trying to understand how the cycle works. Well, here's a prime example of the blue pattern playing out inverse to what was the blue pattern back here. And all you got to do is take the same time frame and just copy and paste it down below. So you see it's the same patterns, and then inverse played here, identical played down here. You can look at the videos that I've posted in the past. It talks more in depth about what the cycle is. At some point, I am going to be doing a breakdown of what these patterns mean. And just the overall cycle itself and how it functions, just so everybody's aware of just specifically how this came to be, right? So, yeah, right now we are up here. This is what happened with the red pattern. Let's go ahead and dissect this real quick. As you can see, I use these little arrows are really nice indicators for me in the way that we see this. But you can see right here we have some downward pressure, right? These specific lines that go hand in hand with each other, and as well as, whoops, what am I doing? Right here, right? And you can tell specifically where these land, right? Where you have that downward pressure right here. You really have to look at it, guys. Not necessarily the little spikes that are in between. That's completely normal. You're going to see a lot of unexpected volume happen within these cycles. But when you look at it from a macro level, right, it's almost picture perfect in the way that these look. So, and then also, you guys, something to note is that a lot of these patterns play out inverse depending on the algorithm. And then the yellow, what would be highlighted in yellow, is the unexpected volume that comes with it as well. So, right now we seem to be down here, tracking some sort of form of the cycle. Also, the cycle doesn't always have to play out in June. This is the June cycle. It can also play out in what is August and October, right? And what I mean by that, guys, is that this extends, right? The middle of August is what I call specifically 2 months apart. It does start in July, but I call it the August pattern because that's the middle, basically the largest portion within the cycle. And same with over here. It's October is where the blue pattern is, and August is where the blue pattern is. June is where the blue pattern is. December is where the blue pattern is. So let's take a look at one thing real quick, just to kind of go over this cycle here. We're gonna look at the 1 hour chart, and we're gonna bring these phases back. Nope, not the phases. The text, maybe? Labels? Yeah, here we go. We bring these back so that you understand these are 62 days apart to a T. Literally to a T, 3 to 3. What we do now is we are able to take every, like specifically July 15th all the way through September 15th at 3. That's 62 days long, or 688 bars on the hour chart, as long as it's 688 bars. Some of these are going to be 64 days. Some of these are going to be 61 because of holidays and weekends and stuff like that. That don't thing. But it doesn't change the fact that it's 688 bars. So we can hover this over anywhere, okay? Anywhere, and sort of see if any patterns are also the same, right? Because not all of it is going to follow the June pattern. Some of these are going to follow the August and the October pattern. So one way to know that is to basically take these 62 cycles here, day cycles by themselves. This is going to be the October. I've talked about this before, but a prime example of the October pattern repeating itself within the December pattern is literally found within the first week, and that's right here. This pattern right here is the same pattern. And then here you start to see it play out inverse, right? Inverse. You have your blue pattern here play out inverse in its own way. And then now we're down here. So what can we take from the current setup, right? This is, let's go ahead and delete this guy because he's in our way. And let's make him purple. Yeah, that's good. So what are we seeming to be tracking right now, right? I personally still think that we are tracking like a basically a version of what is this June pattern on that downtrend. But we can also flip all these patterns if we go back here on the 30-minute chart. Let's see, 3 to 3. Yes. And one thing to note as well is that with these time frames, the specific time frame here is on the 3 o'clock. There are going to be different ranges depending on the volume within the cycle that are always going to be 688 bars. But when you extend it to the right, when there's an incomplete, basically an incomplete pattern right here, it's normal that this extends itself in that way because this volume hasn't been completed. And sometimes TradingView will not account for that, so it doesn't line it up perfectly, which is fine. It's normal. Let's see. Sure, 3. See how it says 3 to 6, and then but when you bring it back here, it changes. 16 to 16, or if you put it on the dot here, 3 to 3. but it changes as soon as you hover it over, and that's because TradingView has not accounted specifically for that. So yeah, we're gonna line them up anyways, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But so yeah, it does look like right now. Whoa. No, I had this like literally aligned perfectly. Why is it doing this to me right now? Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay, let's keep that. Yeah, so right now we seem to be tracking what is, yesterday we were tracking identical to the red pattern, and right now we are tracking it, or I'm sorry, inverse, and right now we are tracking it identical now. So we can also be tracking the October pattern inverse. If we flip this guy or mirror it, we could bring it down here. We could also assume that we are tracking this inverse, right? And coordinated in that sense. And yeah, you, like I said, you will find some patterns that are more that look more the same than others, right? Because it's not always going to follow a specific range of patterns like October or December or June. Most of the time, it's going to follow what is the June pattern. The June pattern is going to be the most important one. But everything else kind of shapes it up to be what it is, right? So yeah, we're just we're gonna see, guys. But right now, let's see. Let's go back to Amy. W. Okay, cool. What's up, dude? W. And let's go ahead and track Mac and B's. Your little purple pattern here that you recommended to track and basically make into a different fractal, which, nice find, my guy, again. I'm going to keep saying that. So yeah, we stopped following. Well, actually, I don't know. This one's kind of hard to tell, but it seems like we tracked it until this point, and then now we're doing something else. So I wonder now if it just kind of, if the algorithm said, well, let's go ahead and just track it normal now or something, and now we're here. I don't know. It could be the case. But it seems like if the algorithm decides to slow things down or whatever, it seems like it almost, like, time stopped here. This is like perfect analogy here with the matrix, because now we stopped time and we said the you sort of got blended in here with a black hole, right? And now it's like, whoa, slowing time, getting rid of this pattern here, and now we're gonna do our own thing, right? I don't know, dude. That's really interesting. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. $2:45. All right, guys. We have 15 minutes till the end of the day. Yo. Let's go ahead and delete these guys. So what could happen now is, based off of this downtrend here, if we were to bring back the squeeze, right? That basically what I had was this trading sideways into completing this wedge, right? That way we would bounce off of. That would have been nice. It would have been awesome. And like I said, we could still be in a double bottom, okay? There is no confirmation yet that we're going to keep going down. We could still be in a double bottom and bounce up. This would be the fourth test, and if we bounce up, that's confirmation that we go to the upside. However, if it breaks down, that's where I start looking at things from a more this regression trend that I was talking about, right? Where if we did bounce back here to, I don't know, maybe that's a little too skewed to the bottom, but if we did bounce to like the $18 level, it would be a very quick bounce, and yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It could go however the algorithm wants it to go, man. However much they can hold this down to. I would like to see a larger wedge play out. Would be the better, just like the better bullish scenario would be this larger wedge, because if we do bounce off of this 18, it would narrow down nicer than a regression trend. A regression trend makes it almost seem like we would go lower like 16, but like I said, that's not really what I'm looking for exactly. I would like to believe that we're in a larger sort of trend here. So let's see. Let's look at the fast Fourier transform real quick, because that's the way I look at these sometimes these indicators as to when we start going up again too. In that sense, so let's do the fast Fourier transform. There it is. Let's put it up here actually. All right, fast Fourier transform. Let's go. Let's update this guy according to the cycle, and this is going to tell me a lot, because it's basically able to understand the price action happening within a sequence, right? Let's go ahead and take the bars pattern here of, so yeah, let's just do whatever. Let's do May 13th. This is not exactly related in that sense, but we're actually going to extend it a little bit more, and I'll show you why. So we're going to extend it up here, and we're going to mirror it, right? Because it's the opposite. So the fast Fourier transform is telling me, right, that this seems to be a point of interest here in the current state that we're in, because that, right, in like I said, this is why my cycle is like, this almost confirms everything for me in the way I look at things, because if this is a point of interest and the stock behaves in that sort of way, just obviously in its own way, but it's behaving as if this pattern were playing out inverse, then it's one way to sort of track what the price movement could be, right, in the future. So it's not a guarantee, right, but it's the fast Fourier transform is wanting to do that for me. Well, can I say, right? Let's open this guy up real quick. So here, it lays it out a little bit better for me, right, than the current cycle that I'm not currently highlighting this whole thing and flipping it over for you. But if we were tracking this, right, if we were tracking this inverse, this will automatically tell me that, because what this does, it scans it out basically both inverse, so with spikes going up or spikes going down, and it'll just basically replicate that pattern in the past. So here, what we have going on is obviously a sort of downtrend here on the tail of what is this cycle, and this is why I'm very, very I'm looking forward to the start of next week, because if we do get, you see how much this goes down, it basically crosses what is this. I don't know, man. This is okay. So this is interesting, because the overall pattern right here, the fast Fourier transform, if you take it just by looking at it on the inverse version, if you take it and understand that this point right here, which is basically tomorrow, if I was to look at this as like a spring or something, some sort of spring, and then create another double bottom and replicate this inverse, then what would happen is, like, this would come down here and sort of play out to be this 3 to 3. Sort of play out to be this, right, like spring sort of deal, like that. So I don't know. And then again, this is what happens, right? The as the pattern is being extended, you guys understand, right, that this is what happened over here. It's the same pattern. And where does it line up? It lines up on the peak of the cycle. So where do we come back here? Or I'm sorry, on the peak. It lines up on the peak of the cycle. See? This is why it's very important, like these option expiration dates that sort of create this movement. This is very, very important when looking at it from that perspective. This is, I don't know, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. So we'll see, guys. This, like I said, this doesn't have to play out in that way, but it's almost looking at it from that in that way. Even though it's a noisy week, there's still going to be that possibility that we do get that spring action and sort of come back in that way, right? And then play inverse back here. So this would be like, I know there's a lot happening right now in the chart. Sorry, guys. But I don't know. You can look at it from this perspective, right? If this plays out and we start, I don't know, doing some inverse action, then in my opinion, it would basically take this and do something like that. Obviously on a smaller level, right? Until we get up to these like 40, and then create this right here would be the projector that I have, and then this is where it would go up on February. Around this level right here. So create the pattern around the blue and then go up from there. And that's just scenario one. That's just scenario one. So oh lordy, why did these move? There we go. All right, let's go back to the normal chart here. Let's see what happens. Still in that double bottom setup. We have not gone down below that. We have 5 minutes to close. We'll see, guys. We'll see. And that doesn't mean, guys, that doesn't mean that, I don't know, where that information came from. The 30% thing, I don't like, I don't know where that came from. I'm just letting you know it didn't come from me, okay? But like wherever that came from, man, like whatever it is that you guys mean by that, make sure you explain yourself, all right? So nobody takes that the wrong way. Remember, this is not financial advice, but in my opinion, when you start to see a downtrend, I've said this before on the streams, guys. When you start to see a downtrend towards the end of the day, that is not a lot of people go in on options or something like that towards the end of the day because they see this low, but then it typically continues until the following morning, and then it goes up maybe or something. But for me, this doesn't look bullish to me in the short term, just in my opinion. right, all right. Very weird, very weird. It's kind of weird, yeah, how the whole Bitcoin thing played out today. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, don't trust fractals too much, my guys. I kept saying it here. It will play out at some point, but at one point, it will fail you. If you don't, the time frame I'm talking about, because these tend to, even though they're on this circle, it's like as time is moving by, the fractal starts getting bigger. It's a really, really weird concept, but or smaller, right? You're like in circles like that, and then you start to grow, right? That's one way to look at it when it comes to fractals. So sometimes the price movements are extremely hard to predict because they're not on a time sequence. It's basically a stretched pattern as time moves by in space. It's really, really weird. That's why sometimes you'll get these right and spot on, but they start stretching at some point. Like when the algorithm decides it wants to basically do this like stretched form of that pattern, that's what will happen. So super weird, super weird. What day does it end? It ends on tomorrow, man. So starting Monday or Tuesday, man, I keep saying starting Tuesday is when the new cycle starts on or replicated cycle that I'm going to be tracking again. So very, very excited for that. Yeah, guys, please be smart out there. Please be smart. Not financial advice. I'm gonna keep saying that. And you guys are awesome. I had a really, really, really awesome day today live streaming, and you guys were the best people, and we had a lot of fun. I am going to be going today at 3, so you guys will probably see me tomorrow again stream in the morning. So keep an eye out for that. And you guys have an awesome rest of your Thursday. And I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome time, guys. Don't let this make you feel any sort of way. I don't know if you guys heard that bell, but that was loud. You guys are dope. Keep your heads up, okay? Keep your heads up. All right, love you guys. Peace out.